Morning, Gary Champion, psychic medium, and occasional healer. Uh, you may hear all the leaf blowing and lawnmower stuff out there. I can't do anything about that. I just learned to ignore it. They're here every Wednesday. Title of this video is Be Like Me. Be like me. I'm told we're going to see some orbs in this. My guys are saying there'll be orbs that will appear in this video. Uh, Schools are banning books that express ideas they don't think belongs in education. Everything outside that window belongs in education. If you do not allow kids to experience it, how are they going to make a choice? How are they going to know? Schools are for learning, and not just learning what you think they ought to be learning, and maybe not what the powers that be, educators say. But banning books, geez, what is that? Stalin? Hitler burned books. Stalin burned books. I'm sure Mussolini. The big fascist three: book burning. Ooh, the ideas in there are so uh, damaging that we shouldn't allow them to be printed. This thing's far worse in movies, and the visual effect is far more damaging than reading about it. Guess you can't control everything, huh? Target's removing LGBT clothing and other things. I read that it's just one complaint caused them to stop, and it has to do with I can't believe I'm talking about this. Men who want to be women who haven't fully transitioned yet, the clothing is to hide their genitalia until they transition. Just make them feel better about themselves. When is that a bad idea? We do it all the time. We get breast enlargement, breast reductions, liposuction, uh, do-overs, hot rocks, all. When is it a bad idea to make yourself feel better? Well, we're beating up on a minority, LGBT. You put them all in a room, it's not that many people compared to everybody else. So we're beating up on a minority. Oh my gosh, we've never done that before. Maybe Aborigines, Indians, black people. I don't mean to put you number three. It's just my brain wouldn't get it out. Ooh, be like me. What happened to free thought and free speech? People have been killed for their thoughts. Nazis did it. I'm sure Ukrainians are being killed for their thoughts. The way they want to be a separate country, we'll just kill them. We'll kill that thought out of them. We'll grab their children and move them into Russia and re-educate them to where they understand that Russia is the thing here. You can't get them to think like you. We'll re-educate them. Brainwashing. That's what that's called. Be like me. People like me don't assimilate well. I was having a discussion with another person sort of like me yesterday, and the fact that they grew up not fitting, not it's very traumatizing to be, in some cases, made fun of or belittled for what he does. It's very funny that Harry Potter books are full of stuff like this, and there's like 6 people in one state that are complaining about it. First Harry Potter books came out, I was working in someone's house years ago, and so he said, "What do you think about the Harry Potter books?" I said, "I've read a couple, and I find they're very entertaining." He said, "Well, her church group wants to ban all the books from whatever the denomination is. I don't remember what it was, but too many years. And she said, I've read it and I can't find one thing in there that's bad as far as it's entertainment. It's a book. So I stood up in my group last week and said, no, we can't ban a book that says nothing derogatory about religion or doesn't. Come on, people are flying. They're casting spells. When did you see it last? You've never seen that. It's imagination. It's entertainment. Appearing, disappearing. Fighting trolls in the bathroom with a wand. I mean, come on. It's not. Kids know the difference between entertainment and fact. And apparently the grown-ups didn't. But she voted to ignore that, table it, whatever, till it went away. Free thought, free speech. Be like me. Well, the two don't go together. If you have free speech, you can say things that are not like anybody else. I say things like that all the time. The difference is I've always been willing to defend it. People don't go up against me on something like that. They may like to, but they haven't so far. I think in my early years, I got a lot of that, and I started reading them. They would arrive and say, you can't do this, can't do that, and I'd read them, and I'd tell them something horrible from their past. You know, they don't know you're reading them. And here's the interesting part. You don't need their permission. You think I need your permission to read you? No. You walk past me or sit next to me in a restaurant or standing in line to get something. There's no thou shalt nots. You're living in that world, thou shalt nots. We can tell people not to do something, they won't do it. And be like me. We all follow these little rules, and we're in this little cluster of people. These are the rules we follow. And the truth is, very few people follow those rules. Very few people can follow those rules. Recently, the parents of a child sued a school. This is a good one. Sued a school for indoctrinating their kids with anti-racist policies. Yeah, I had to read that a couple of times. Sued the school for indoctrinating their kids with anti-racist policies. Isn't that what we need? Anti-racism? I mean, anti-racism policies are good. It sounds bad because it says anti. Racism shouldn't be a factor in anything, but it is. You can't have everything. Racists want you to be like them. Be like me. Methodists want you to be like them. Big schism in the Methodist Church. And, by the way, this church is called the United Methodist Church. United Methodist Church. Always has been. It says so on the front of their buildings. United Methodist Church. But they're splitting all into pieces over this LGBT. Don't want them in our church. Don't want them near our children. Even though a percentage of your children are like that. A certain percentage of those children are gay or lesbians or whatever. Feuding religions split Methodists over LGBT concerns. Concerns. That means they don't want them in their church. And when you begin excluding people, free speech and the right to be who you want to be and free thought go out the window. You can't have it. If I have the right for free thought, and I do, I have no problem sitting in a building with people who want to be different. Of course, it's easier for me because I am different. I didn't want to be different. That's the difference. They're choosing to be different, and I think it's very much that they don't have any control over it. You're born weird. You're born weird. I was born weird. Doesn't bother me. If it bothers other people, they're not telling me. I'm sure they'd like to, but I move in circles of people like me. People who are not like me accept my readings for what they are. These are kind of political things. Personal things like the right to change your gender. What are they doing in politics? What are they doing in religion? Be like me. What are they doing there? Because humans do not like humans who are not like them. You say that again. Humans do not like humans who are not like them. A guy asked me one day, uh, what's your religious belief? I don't know this guy, I just met him. And I said, well, I'm real spiritual, not religious. What does that mean? Right back at me. Because he's done this before, so he's an expert. Thought he was going to talk me off the top of a building or something. Well, I'm more spiritual. I'm not religious. What what does that mean? Again. And I said, well, I don't believe necessarily all the stuff that's in that book that you carry around and beat people over the head with. This is dogma from 2,000 years ago. It wasn't true then. It's not true now. Never saw a guy leave the building so fast. I bet he does this to everybody he meets. He wants to categorize you to see if he can intermingle with you or have a conversation with you or discuss anything with you. You have to be like him. Be like me. You be like me, we can talk all day about, I don't know, whatever, whatever you want to talk about. But if you're not like me, we have nothing to talk about. Diversity is the cornerstone of spiritual and uh, life changing and evolving evolution. But for a lot of people, it's gone too far. I can understand that. That is the difference between me and them. I accept people who want to be some other gender because it's what they want. Who am I to tell somebody what you can't be a girl, you can't be a boy? Who am I to say that? It's their choice, and they have free speech and free thought. What goes on in their head, you can't really get at that. So that can be free. But when you begin to express it in speech, then that's when it becomes a problem. Or some company manufactures clothing that suits your transition. It's a kindly thing. Aiding in your transition. They're not going to have any of it. They had to pull it off the shelves because one person complained, that Mrs. Kravitz. Every neighborhood has a Mrs. Kravitz. You have to go back in early TV to find her. But it's that neighbor that's annoying. It was that bewitched. Mrs. Kravitz was always coming around giving her opinion on things. We had one in the neighborhood here. I think she's still here. My wife says she is. Goes around correcting people. Never said a word to me. Word gets around the neighborhood when you're weird and strange, and people don't want to engage in that. So I get a lot of funny looks. Does it bother me? No. I'm an old guy. Why would I care? Young guys coming up that want to do this for a living, LGBT people that want to be different, people that want to. I had a conversation with someone the other day that a girl had really beautiful long black hair, and she shaved one side of it and let the other side grow really, really long, you know. And that was a style for a while, and she hated it. Yeah, but it's not your hair. You're her mother, but she's a different person. It's not your hair. She has a right to change what she looks like if she wants to. I think a right that rises above all these rules and regulations everybody's passing. That you can't be like that. You got to be like me. Be like me. That's not going to happen. These people will go underground. Well, I would never have an abortion. What a horrible, ungodly thing to do. Yeah, but not everybody's you. And you think you can stop them from having an abortion by passing rules that say you can't do this and you can't do that. You can't have an abortion. Roe versus Wade's been reduced. It just drives it underground. There are plenty of nurses and doctors willing to do abortions underground. Get on a plane and go overseas. Go to Mexico. Go to Canada. Go any number of places where you can have these procedures done. Or get a hold of the abortion pill. It's the simplest thing to do. You're outraged that people are doing these things. I can understand that. But they're not going to be like you. Every person is unique and different. And the sooner we begin to accept that, the sooner we can accept them as someone who could be in our group. Differing ideas have a purpose. Not everyone wears the same perfume. Not everybody wears the same clothes. Not everybody lives in the same neighborhood. Not everybody rides around the same car. You can judge people by their cars. We were doing it the other day. You know, the people that go in and out of traffic and yell at you out the window and they're angry about, look at what kind of car they're buying. The asshole people, look and see what kind of car primarily they're driving. It's an entitled car, one you pay a lot of money for, because you think if you're better off, then you're better than someone. Two are not the same. Being better off does not give you a license to tell everybody what to do. Although no one seems to get that today. People with a lot of money and power and the big house on the hill, they think they have the right to tell people what to do. This hadn't worked out for them too well this year. So, banning books is a bad idea. It stops the dissemination of different ideas, which we need, maybe to survive. Acceptance is what we need. Don't ban Target because they have LGBT clothing and items like that. Target's trying to be inclusive, and any good businessman wants to be inclusive. You're selling an item someone needs. That's the contract. Someone needs apples, they go to the store and buy apples. You're supplying a product that somebody wants. What's the difference with clothing? One kind of got a little thing there and one doesn't. You're not buying it. You want to stop them from buying it. Be like me. Parents suing a school for indoctrinating their kids with an anti-racist policy. Whew. I bet they're going to be very popular. No homosexuals as clergy. Big split in the Methodist Church. It's not just LGBT. They don't want to. I don't know why. Why? Why? Because they're not like you. You want someone who's stamped at least sort of out of the mold that you came out of in order to listen to them or have any dealings with them at all. Racist, bigoted, all these words, they have meaning. And it's not good. We no longer accept people for who they are. Probably never did. That was just a fantasy. We'll all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and get around the campfire and eat some s'mores and everything will be okay. It's not like that. You can't come to our s'more eating party because you want to alter your gender or you read books. Oh my gosh, you read books. Be like me. Strange, isn't it? You can't be like me because you're not me, but you're going to be punished for it. Stand up, be who you are. It might cost you a job. It might cost you a group of people you desperately want to join for business purposes. They're not going to let you in. Your suit's not the right color. We only wear gray suits and white shirts and a bluish tie. Do you really want to belong to a group that excludes everybody? That excludes these people that are interesting? Yes, you probably do. Those who are racist and against homosexuals and gays and lesbians. Anybody that's different than you, that's who you're against. You're painting yourself into a corner. Because these people own businesses. They hire people. They're out in the world. They're not just sitting around in a closet somewhere. They're part of the economy. You might find yourself working for one of them one day. Oh, what a horrible thought. Or living next to one of them. Then we'll have an HOA meeting and we'll have to exclude these strange LGBT people because they're not like us. Be like me. It's sad and unrealistic and dopey. That's my that's the word for today, dopey. Anyway, what do we got coming up? Ooh. Chat room healing, the 28th week of this month. I've got it written up here better. The 28th. June the 4th, readings in the chat room. June 18th, healing in the chat room. This site. June the 11th, I'm teaching a class tapping into your intuition. It's complicated but simple. It's a paid class and it's available on my website. Tapping into your intuition has at least 75 questions, and I'm not sure the length of it. I'm not concerned with length. I just want people to tap into the intuition that's there just beneath the surface, but they can't seem to get to it. Well, this class is pretty simple. Let's see. Okay, well, that's enough. And I appreciate you coming along and being. The people that come to my YouTube site are sort of accepting of me. Those that aren't, I have a button. I can zap them off my channel. They can go someplace else and complain and whine and why ain't the world like me? They need to be in jail. You're not doing a good thing with this reading, healing thing. Free stuff, by the way. I say don't be like me. Be like you. Everybody would just be like themselves. These bigoted little people in a little room that are creating all these laws they want to have passed, that gets millions of people killed. That's what that does. That's what the extermination camps in World War II are about. Started off with gypsies and gay people. They were just burning them up left and right, and then they turned on the Jewish people. We'll barbecue 6 million of them. Boy, that fixed things, didn't it? Now they've got that stigma always stuck with them for the rest of their lives. Wasn't a good thing. It's just dopey. Anyway, and we find ourselves hanging in groups like us. I like to go to psychic fairs and hang around with people like me. That's where I feel most comfortable. You go to a high school uh, cafeteria, black athletes are over here. Well, they have to talk to me about basketball people or football people. We'll talk about sports. I don't know anything about sports. The cheerleaders are over here. The gay people, lesbians, whatever, they're over here. The really nerdy, smart people, they don't want to talk to anybody but themselves. They're over here. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not a melting pot. It's the biggest lie ever told. Oh, all men are created equal. That's the biggest lie ever told. We're a melting pot. It's the second biggest lie ever told. We coexist. We're a pot with 50 different groups of people in it, or 100 or 1,000 different groups of people in it. They do not melt down. They keep their own thoughts, and so we're not a melting pot. Never have been. It made people feel good to say we're a melting pot. I don't want everybody to be the same. The ultimate of foolishness is for everybody to be the same. You want to talk to someone who talks just like you, dresses just like you, and is just like you? That's crazy. There's no enjoyment in life unless people are different. Difference brings everything. And even though you may not know that person you're talking to is a LGBT person, they're probably looking at you trying to figure out if you are. Because we need to categorize everybody and put them in a slot. I can't talk to him. I can't talk to him. I don't want to work with him. We need to, if we feel the need to categorize everybody, put everybody in a little box. And then we exclude those boxes, and and then we mingle with the people who are like us. That's kind of a stale society, if you ask me. That's stale bread. That's what that is. You shouldn't be eating it. Okay, enough of that. Be different. Be you. Don't be like everybody else. It's hard sometimes, but the only person you owe anything to is yourself. You don't owe your parents. You don't owe administrators or teachers in school. You don't owe them any of that. You don't. Brothers, sisters, people you work with, you don't owe them any of that. You don't owe them your soul. And when you start dressing and acting like them and pretending you're not LGBT, you've lost your soul. Be yourself. Let them deal with it in whatever way they're going to. If they're going to ostracize you, good. You don't want to be around them anyway. If they want to commingle, good. Now you've got people you can talk to. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.